Pageantry and tradition, the Rattlers of Florida A&M and the Wildcats of Bethune Cookman coming through dripping into Camping World Stadium for the Florida Blue Florida Classic. Now this game is a big deal, especially for FAMU, who's been striking this season, a resurgence in Tallahassee for sure, but every time they come to Orlando and face off against the Wildcats, they've been owned by Bethune Cookman. This year, not only pride on the line, but also a trip to the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl for Florida A&M if they can clinch a win here today. As we say hello and welcome in with the former Howard University and NFL quarterback, Jay Walker. I'm Tiffany Green. Look, we have seen FAMU absolutely on a roll, but we know this game means more than that. And when a rivalry is at stake, all bets are off the table.
I mean, you're talking about the loudest football game in the country with two of the best bands, two of the best fan bases out there. But make no mistake about it, head coach Willie Simmons for Florida A&M, he was bought into Tallahassee to win games like this, end of the year, a berth at the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl on the line. It's got everything you want for a classic football game.
Now, Willie Simmons did this at his last stop. How has he been able to turn around FAMU?
Give him a quarterback, and Willie Simmons knows how to make things happen. And Ryan Stanley does a fantastic job distributing the football to all of his playmakers, whether it's running backs out of the backfield, the speed at the wide receiver position, ball distribution is the key for Ryan Stanley. But anytime you talk about winning a championship, you got to have a defense. And I think what does not get credit is the defense from Florida A&M. They're ranked second in the conference, 19th in all of FCS football. They do a good job of coming up with big stops. Whenever they have to come up with a big play, they're going to need that defense to show up in a major way today.
Jay, look, there has been trash talking all week long, and we can't wait to see it go down on the field. The Florida Blue Florida Classic coming your way next. ESPN College Football presented by McDonald's. Everybody ready, anticipating for the big showdown on the field between Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman. The Rattlers coming in at 5-1 in the conference, 6-4 overall, while the Wildcats are 4-2 in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, 6-5 overall for the season. And the Wildcats are led by Terry Sims in his 4th season as head coach out of Daytona Beach. His classic record, impeccable, perfect, 3-0 as a head coach. He's hoping to keep it that way this afternoon. On the other side, first-year man at Florida A&M, Willie Simmons, who has taken this program over and completely done a 180 from last year to this year, turning it into a winning program. Not only that, in contention for a MEAC title, but also, as we mentioned in the open, a chance to go to the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl in Atlanta next month.
Two good young coaches right there. Willie Simmons, I said it earlier, I believe he'll be the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Coach of the Year, regardless of what he does in this football game, Celebration Bowl or not, for the simple fact that he made Florida A&M football relevant again. They matter again. They count. One of the blue bloods of black college football, Florida A&M, legendary program, he brought them back to the national scene. No
doubt about that. The Rattlers have an opportunity to have their first winning season since 2011. And FAMU won the toss, deferred to the second half, so Bethune-Cookman will receive. And the very dangerous Jimmy Robinson back. And they tried a little dribble kick. That's all right. Jimmy Robinson picks it up, and you have to hold your breath every time he touches the football. He's that explosive.
And that was the key. Are they going to elect to kick to Jimmy Robinson on special teams? He's a game changer. We saw right away they tried a squib kick down the middle. I think you're going to see that over and over again from Florida A&M.
But they certainly are going to get a heavy dose of him as he will line up in the backfield, out at receiver, and the question is who will come in and start as quarterback. We heard before the game that David Israel, the transfer from West Virginia, will get the start. It's been a carousel this season for the Wildcats, and when you look at this young man standing at 6'1", a sophomore, he can do it. He's the spark, Jay.
Explosive gunslinger, likes to throw the ball downfield in the vertical passing game. Not afraid to throw an interception because he also knows in order to throw a touchdown, you got to take risk.
And we start off the game with a penalty. It goes against Bethune-Cookman. This has been a storyline really throughout Terry Sims' stay as the head coach of penalties. So they start things off from the 20-yard line. And Israel with time, moving out of the pocket, and he's brought down just near the 25-yard line. And you will notice these white uniforms for Bethune-Cookman, but the very shiny chrome helmets. They're slick.
That's what they say. That's on fleek.
That's on fleek.
That's on fleek. They're lit. That chrome, when they came out of the locker room, I think the whole stadium said, ooh.
They came through dripping.
Those are nice.
That's the theme of the day. Come through dripping. Drip, drip. 2nd and 9, the handoff. Instead, rolling out, fake me out, and an incompletion.
And that's doing too much. And that's the problem that you have with David Israel sometimes. It was a zone read option with a run pass option included in that one, and he made the wrong decision. The absolute wrong thing you want to do is have an incomplete pass, because you can hand the ball off, you can run the football yourself. If you throw it, you have to complete that pass. Instead, it's 3rd and 9.
So Isaac Washington in motion. Everybody in the stadium saw movement, and that'll back the Wildcats up.
Offense, number 63, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Jamal Savage, the left tackle, the guilty party. 2nd penalty on this drive. Rick Warren, our referee for today's game.
And now I want to be curious how you would choose to attack this defense. Florida A&M is going to come out and give you quarters. They're going to have 4 guys deep, taking away the deep shot. Give the ball to one of your playmakers underneath and see if they can make a tackler miss to pick up the 1st down. I don't think you try and attack this defense vertically down the field.
As you said, 2nd best in the MEAC.
Nice
what
call.
An athletic grab from Ismi. And Ismi, wow, what a way to bring that in. Brought down by the true freshman Elijah Daniels.
They're a little bit short of the 1st down marker, but I like the play call selection by offensive coordinator Alan Suber. Screen pass, get it to Tupac Ismi, one of your playmakers at the running back position. But it all goes back to that 2nd penalty they got. Those extra 5 yards moved them back, and they came up 3 yards short for the 1st down.
So Bethune-Cookman will punt it away. Back to return it for the Rattlers. Orlando McKinley, 5th-year senior out of Atlanta, Georgia. Fair catches it and watches it bounce down to just about the 32-yard line. 39-yard putt, and we will get a chance to see the gunslinger who's had more than 2,000 yards this season in Ryan Stanley. Coach Willie Simmons told us before the game he has complete confidence in his quarterback.
They call him Sunshine, and the sun is shining. It's been shining for him all year down in Tallahassee. We talked about him in the open, how he distributes the football. Guy that really doesn't get rattled, calm, cool, and collected. This is his opportunity to have an impact game in his career as a starting quarterback at Florida A&M.
19 of 32 in his last game for 234 yards in that loss to South Carolina State. Rolling out to his left and then tripped up and brought down by Todney Evans out of Delray Beach, Florida.
Going with the misdirection. One thing Bethune-Cookman can do, they can get at it with their defensive line, and a good job by Todney Evans, number 55, tracking down the quarterback from the backside. Tackle for loss to open up the game. Good start for the Wildcat defense.
So 2nd and 14 from Rattler territory. Stanley surveying the field. Makes the throw. An excellent catch by Xavier Smith, the redshirt freshman who's been making plays all season long.
And the key there, he had time to throw the football. Florida A&M might have got away with a hold on the right side. You see it on the left side of your screen. Inside move by Kevin Thompson. Could be a hold, but good pocket presence by Stanley. Escape, buy yourself an extra second, deliver a strike for the 1st down.
Among the concerns after these last 2 losses over the last 2 weeks for Florida A&M, must protect Ryan Stanley. Good example of it there. Out again, finding Smith once more. And Smith across midfield picks up the 1st down, and that's a gain of 13 yards brought down by Trevor Merritt.
And you talked about the protection. And I want to see, because talking to head coach Willie Simmons, he says, I believe my offensive line can protect my quarterback against their 4 defensive linemen. They're going to have to bring pressure. I would say the opposite. I think that the Bethune Cookman defensive line is going to give Florida A&M's offensive line trouble and force him to bring an extra blocker in. We'll see how this plays out. Especially
when you have a couple of DNs that are fifth-year starters in Kevin Thompson and Tydney Evans. Ryan Stanley going deep, trying to get it all. And the pass incomplete, broken up by Elliott Miller. Penalty flag is on the field back at the 45.
Offense, number 71, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Marcus Williams was the intended target before that Miles Rouse penalty.
And this is at the end of it. A lot of contact there. I really thought they could have thrown the flag. Elliott Miller was draped all over the receiver the whole route. They didn't call that. Unfortunately for Florida A&M, they get called for a hold, and we saw it earlier. I thought on the first 5-step dropping pattern they had, Rouse held and got away with it. Second time, the officials know what to look for. They caught him holding.
Deshaun Smith in the backfield. And Stanley looking to pass. And finds Azinde Ray, who was held out of last game because of precautionary reasons. They say he is a super fast cat.
How aggressive is the play calling from Willie Simmons? Pass, 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 pass. 6 consecutive passes, not even thinking about running the football. He's trying to make a statement with his play calling as well.
Was the offensive coordinator at Alcorn State before he took over the head coaching job at Prairie View A&M. And after 3 seasons spent there, headed over to Tallahassee. Stanley has a man wide open. Xavier Smith down to near the 30-yard line. And all passes on this opening possession for the Rattlers.
And Stanley's throwing dimes. That's what you do. When you've got a quarterback comfortable in the pocket, this is a big-time throw here. Buys some time, delivers on the deep route for a first down.
And Deshaun Smith, first look at him, first look at any of the running backs for the Rattlers. Brought down by Kevin Ndukwe. And that's good enough for a first down. So 4 for 4 for Ryan Stanley on this drive for 58 yards. And the Rattlers are in the red zone before that penalty marker comes out.
False start. Offense. Number 61. 5-yard penalty. First down.
You know what happened? Center forgot to snap the ball. Everybody on the offensive line and offensive move, everybody but the football. Take a look at this here. You're going to see them. Everybody's ready to go. They're all moving. Where's the ball? Oh, second late, 5-yard penalty. Come on, center. Brian Crawford. Just a freshman. It's your first classic, but you got to do a better job. Center has to know the snap count.
Backs him up 5 yards. Stanley rolling out, has time once again. Nice adjustment from Xavier Smith, the redshirt freshman out of Haines City, Florida.
Stanley looks real comfortable back there. Looks really good. And you're starting to see the wide receivers step up. We talked to Coach Simmons. He said we need our wide receivers to play big. They're going to try and get physical in our face. Our guys got to use that speed to get open, and we're seeing the guys doing a good job beating one-on-one coverage.
So Simmons, who is the play caller for the Rattlers, the offense is moving. The handoff inside and just slippery. Just straight up slippery for Deshaun Smith.
Great job by Smith, but I like the patience by the fullback. Watch the fullback, number 38, White. When he comes around here to seal, he does a good job of finding a spot to seal. Don't give up that secondary block.
So after 5 straight passes, now 3 runs also we've seen on this drive from FAMU. And it's 1st and goal. Only 8 seconds to go on the play clock. Last minute substitution, Bishop Bonnet. Back there instead, Stanley going for the one-on-one coverage on the outside with Henry Miller. And he batted it away as David Manigo was the intended target.
They talked about a man ago, just a freshman, number 85, 6'3", 175, 180-pound freshman, not able to elevate. He has to realize in that situation, you're positioning yourself. It's like a jump ball situation in basketball. You got to block him out and then elevate, try and catch the ball at his highest point. Rattlers fortunate that ball wasn't intercepted.
First incompletion for Stanley. The jet sweep, making the move is Azinde Ray trying to push forward and just gets down at the 1-yard line. Kevin James in on the tackle. And Coach Terry Sims said this week, look, for our defense, we need Devin James to have a big game, be a fire starter for us on defense.
James, that guy has to fly around. The typical inside linebacker likes to stuff and hit, which is always a good trait from the inside backer.
Now you got the jumbo package on. At the 1, 3rd and goal. The handoff, and right there were a bevy of Wildcats. The first to get to him was number 55, Todney Evans. He led the charge.
Yeah, don't get caught up in the moment right now if you're Willie Simmons. You kick the field goal. You go up 3-0. I know they're tempted to go for it. Good penetration by the defensive line from Florida A&M. And I know the fans want you to, but you take negative yards down in the red zone, you should be kicking the field goal. They're trying a little gadget play here, but they're going to think about it, which I think is a good move.
So Willie Simmons spends his first time out of the game. And you're here, you say be conservative. Don't try to get too fancy too early on, Jay.
You can win this football game 3-0. Right, 0-0 is a tie. So you take points however you get them. You never know when you're going to need 3 points in a rivalry type game. Anytime you can be in the ahead position rather than the chase position, you take it. You want to set the tone. You want to come out there and be aggressive, but don't let the emotion get to you. Play football smart. You lost yardage on that previous play. Kick a field goal is what I would do.
Yahia Ali coming out as the place kicker after that quick discussion on the sideline. Christopher Dool, the holder. A 20-yard attempt. And pretty much a chip shot. The solid 3, but a penalty marker on the field.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
After that, so hold up.
Now, you know they wanted to go for it. So if this is against Bethune-Cookman, it'd be a decision that Willie Simmons would have to make. I still wouldn't take the points off the board. Good decision.
Obviously, because it would still be 4th down, so maybe a few inches closer. But he's elected to hold on to this 3, and Willie Simmons and his crew out of Tallahassee on top. 3-0 from the Florida Blue Florida Classic.
The Florida Classic is presented on ESPN by McDonald's.
Battle of the Bands last night at the Amway Arena.
And of note, we're going to show at halftime, we're going to show the bands performing.
But that's what is at stake today, Jay, as FAMU has an opportunity to not only claim a MEAC title, but also clinch a berth into the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. But Bethune-Cookman has a shot at grabbing a share of that MEAC championship. They've got to have some help today.
Yeah, mathematically, they're eliminated from going to the Celebration Bowl, but getting a share of that is great. But more importantly, when you talk to the Wildcat Nation, they're going to beat the Rattlers. They want to beat the Rattlers. We're going to be the spoilers, all they've been saying all week.
This squib kick once again up the middle, really kind of negating the opportunity for Jimmy Robinson to get his burners going. He's had a couple of mishandles there on the kickoff. But it's not the last we'll see of him, number 22 in those chrome helmets, white jerseys for Bethune-Cookman out of Daytona Beach, coming off of 2 big victories, squeaking out against Morgan State 30-28, and then last Thursday we had a chance to see them go into double OT and knock off North Carolina Central. Those games always seem to come down to the wire. A blocked field goal sealed it for Bethune-Cookman. Israel with the low pass out to Stephon Francois. Francois with a decent game.
Now let's see what type of spark they can have. They went with David Israel because he's a quick strike guy. They want him to quick strike, to be aggressive. Well, after an impressive drive by Florida A&M to open up this football game, they still want to see if Israel can get them that spark they need.
The RPO works in favor and execution there for right at the first down. Sticks. Jonathan Thomas with the reception out of Port St. Lucie.
And I would really be trying to get touches to Jimmy Robinson. Jimmy Robinson's the best offensive football player for Bethune-Cookman. The more touches, the more great things that can happen for your program.
Rolling to his left, finding his man, Kevon Mitchell, the senior of that wide receiver unit. Do you think, though, just like we saw from Willie Simmons and coming out with a lot of passes to start the drive, that everyone knows that they're going to try to get the ball in the hands of Jimmy Robinson, so you maybe try to decoy, do a little something different, get others involved, and then bring in your gunner?
If you're going to beat me, you're going to beat me with my best player running the football.
And a good example there. There's Jimmy Robinson. Boy, he has been electrifying every time he touches the ball. 16 yards on that pickup, but 14 and a half yards per carry this season.
And I'm going to get him his touches. I mean, he's the best football player. This is the last game of the year. If he's banged up at all, he can heal during the offseason. He gives you your greatest opportunity to win the more times he touches the football.
Out to Kevon Mitchell once again, who's been a steady guy in this offense for the Wildcats, brought down by Derek Mayweather. But back to Robinson, the MEAC specialist of the week, so he's picked up a couple of conference honors, had a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown last week. Israel eluding some pressure, finds his man, and just dropped by Jonathan Thomas right through his fingertips.
Talking about Jimmy, I called him the MEAC Breakout Performer of the Year. He was a difference maker for Bethune-Cookman, and it was on display last Thursday against North Carolina Central. They just could not stop him, whether it was running the football, special teams, kickoff returns. Tremendous athlete.
Now 3rd and 5. Israel has been crisp on this drive. He can hurt you with his feet, somehow keeps his balance, keeps moving forward. Joshua Crutchfield in on the tackle, but Israel can make you miss.
And he elects to get outside of the pocket, but this is a great seal block on the edge. You keep running, give the play a chance. That's why sometimes he doesn't play within the system. You had the time to wait it out, find a receiver downfield, but he made a quick decision to call his own number and came up a little bit short of the first down.
Big 4th down here. They're going forward. They put it in the hands of Jimmy Robinson, and he does what he needs to do. First down, Wildcats. The drive keeps going. True freshman Herman Jackson with the tackle.
And Jimmy Robinson, he's probably one of the most electric guys we've seen in this conference in about 2 years, since Tariq Cohen was making highlight films every week in North Carolina A&T.
He was the human highlight.
Edge of your seat type runner, and he's explosive.
Jabari Dunham now in as the signal caller. The handoff, and quickly the Rattlers wrap up the Wildcats. Yeah. Elijah Richardson first.
And why do you think Dunham is in the game? Because Israel playing outside the system. The system says do this. He likes to call his number a little bit. So Coach Sims said if he's doing things that we don't like to see, that bench will humble him, and we'll talk to him on the sideline to get him going.
And remember, the Wildcats without Akevius Williams, their primary starter on the season. He went down a few weeks back. Robinson Brought down by Derek Mayweather, just near the 24-yard line. So a very balanced drive for the Wildcats. His third down is coming up. 5 passes, 5 rushes.
And now Dunham just in the game for his first time yet to attempt to throw. So I'm going to take away all the short passes with the fresh quarterback coming in the game.
And Johnny on the spot. Joshua Curry, the true freshman, with a tackle for a loss.
Yeah, they tried to do a little sprint draw, but the big fella, Joshua Curry, the freshman, just doesn't move, playing that interior line, defensive lineman position. Nice recognition, huge tackle for a loss.
And that was a big stop, because now that takes them out of perhaps some kind of field goal range. 4th and 12. And Giovanni Francis into punt. Francis will try to pin him deep inside their own territory. The coverage team is there. An excellent job from the Wildcats. So the Rattlers got a lot of work to do. 99 yards to drive the field. You'll see them when we come back. Coming up later over on ABC, our college football rolls on with another big one. This one from the American. Number 24, Cincinnati, coming in at 9-1. They take on the undefeated UCF Knights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. And like everything else, you can watch it live on the ESPN app from everywhere. And that's just across town on the east side of Orlando. College Game Day was there. UCF has been
they're building something special over there.
Wanting it. So a pass on first down. They get out of the end zone. And once again, it's Xavier Smith who has been the favorite target early on for Ryan Stanley. That's good for 16 yards.
Yeah, they call him the fearless guy. They want to get him the ball on jet sweeps, bubble screens, as you just saw there. Great run after catch wide receiver. Just a redshirt freshman. Very young receiving core for Florida A&M. They're youthful, but they're very good. This is going to be a bunch around for a while.
The handoff, and you see walking, talking, bouncing off like pinballs was Deshaun Smith, rather Bishop Bonnet on the carry. Henry Miller on the tackle. And Bishop Bonnet is one of those guys who, you talk about Jimmy Robinson, they feel like Bishop Bonnet is their version.
Yeah, that quick guy. Everybody wants to have that running back that can hurt you when you give him the ball in the backfield, but also get him involved in the passing game to be the focal point of that offensive attack.
2nd and 1 now. And Azinde Rayan.
Great defense.
Nowhere to go for him as Marquise Hendricks in on the stop. One of those hard hitters in that linebacking core for the Wildcats.
And Hendricks, the leading tackler for this Wildcat defense, and you'll see how many white jerseys are surrounding the football. They were not fooled at all. Poor job of timing by the Rattler offense.
That's a loss of 8. So instead of 2nd and 1, it's now 3rd and 9. Rattlers not moving at all. Going up for it was Marcus Williams. And there's some laundry on the field.
They're letting them play in the secondary.
Defense, number 55.
But that was good quarterback play.
3rd down.
By Ryan Stanley. Got him to jump off sides, realized it was a free play, make the pass downfield, try and get the first down with a 50-50 jump ball. And I actually thought that's the second time I thought Elliott Miller, number 7 for Bethune-Cookman, has gotten away with pass interference against a Florida A&M wide receiver.
Now, he's the cornerback that's been picked on really the last couple of weeks when we talked to Terry Sims, but he said he felt very confident given the fact that last year's Florida Classic was a breakout game for him. 3rd and 4. And just a misfire from Stanley. So that brings up 4th down. The punting unit will come on, and probably the most dangerous weapon on this team is Christopher Dool, who leads the FCS and the MEAC in punt average. 46.1 yards per punt. Longest of the season is 64. Kevon Mitchell back to receive for the Wildcats. And there it is, the booming leg that keeps going and going. Mitchell all the way back to the 10-yard line.
He changes field position, doesn't he?
Wow.
What a
Talk
kick.
about flipping the field. 62 yards. That's good for Chris Fadul. Wildcats on offense on the other side.
And vaporize it. New NyQuil Severe with Vicks VapoCool. The vaporizing, nighttime coughing, aching, stuffy head, best sleep with a cold medicine.
It's a good look along Tampa Street, just around the grounds of Camping World Stadium.
Nah, man.
But the goodness is on the inside,
Yeah,
Jay.
man, get up in here, watch the game. You got these folks up here, these young student athletes representing their universities for pride. Need you in the game.
Do they know what's at stake? Florida A&M has a chance to go to the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl with a win. They control their own destiny. The handoff to Ladarian Wilson, and Wilson brought down by Elijah Richardson, likely the final play of the first quarter. And as it comes to an end, look, the Wildcats have won this thing here the last 7 years. But Florida A&M up 3-0 with a trip to Atlanta on the line. Come back to Central Florida.
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
Another big game going on in Durham, North Carolina. A&T and North Carolina Central going head-to-head.
Markel Cartwright.
That's Markel Cartwright. 14-0 Aggies on top. Remember, they too have a chance at a Celebration Bowl berth. If Florida A&M loses, they go. And look, that would be their third trip there, as they were the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl champions a season ago, claiming their second in 3 years. And just beat up, really nowhere to go. Hard fought 1 or 2 yards.
Israel's still not getting it. That's a speed option. You don't have blocking on the backside. They have the spare blocker that's going to block somebody weak side. You have to stay in front, attack. He got hit there. Even though he picked up 4 yards, you're not playing within the system. That's not the play call.
Okay, so you're in his ear. What are you telling him? What are you asking him to do?
Play within the system. Read your keys. Don't try to do too much. If the defense stops us to just a 3-yard gain, I'd rather you take that than give me a 4-yard gain and you get hit 4 or 5 times.
3rd and 6, and neither team has converted a third down today. Tried to throw a bullet in there. Andrew Hines in on the stop.
Here's what we're talking about. I'm going to tell you why they're going at it. Robinson's in the backfield, right? We got a good run in the backfield. Run pass option. What happens if you give the ball to this guy right here? Tell me what happens after he gets it. You go through the fake.
Boom,
that's
right
a
there.
crease.
Yeah.
He's got angle. He's got leverage. You're going to pick up a first down possibly. Calling his own number, pull it, trying to stick it in there. Not playing within the system. Not having much success right now, David Israel.
Third punt now of the game for Giovanni Francis. McKinley with a chance to return it. He's got some room. Tries the stutter step and is brought down after an 8-yard return. Trenton Bridges with the stop.
Hey Tim, let me give credit where credit is due. Bethune Cookman Band has been the ranked #1 band in the country by a couple of things. FAMU's rocking the house right now. I give FAMU band credit. They got the white hats sitting over there being quiet, and the energy in the stadium is being brought to the fan base by the Rattlers. It seems like the Rattlers really want to go to Atlanta. And the white hats, well, come on now. Y'all been real quiet over there.
We'll see, everyone likes to believe that the bands dictate what happens in the game, but right now it's been FAMU.
Offense, number 69, 5-yard penalty, first down.
He's been able to put at least 3 points on the board as Patrick Dalton called for the penalty. But you've got to, one has to feed off of the edge of the other, excuse me.
They can energize you.
Yeah.
Bands can jumpstart you sometimes. They can make an entrance, play a song that somebody listens to, and a little simple 5-yard play becomes that one spark that gets you going for the rest of the drive.
Quick underneath to Azinde Ray. Ray wrapped up the first time and then sure tackled the second time by Deron Maxwell.
And when you talk about, these bands, they're a part of this game. That's why I call it the loudest HBCU game in the country, because these are two of the biggest bands you're going to see. Bethune Cookman's coming in here with 350 people in their band. Florida A&M coming in there with right around 290. So you're talking huge bands that can get it going, and that's the pageantry of HBCU football here at the Florida Blue Classic.
And just a missed out there to Deshaun Smith. So quickly a third down brought up for the Rattlers.
And the kids, is just a lateral. Let's take a look. He throws it from the 37-yard line going forward. So good job by the officials. That ball not a lateral. That's a forward pass.
And what's worked for Ryan Stanley thus far? What did you see on that first drive that you like that he could cook up here?
Stretching the defense. He was throwing the ball down the hash, 15-yard routes.
He's got plenty of time, lets it go just short, and he had to step up in the pocket. Xavier Smith was the nearest receiver.
And that's one of the times we saw the impact Marcus Ford can have for Bethune-Cookman, their best defensive lineman. And that's why I think the front four for Bethune-Cookman can get to Stanley. We'll see how long Willie Simmons elects to go with base protection.
Marcus Ford, backup defensive end. And the penalty marker comes out. Kevon Mitchell won't go down. Finally does there. We'll wait for the call here from the referee.
Illegal formation there, and I think rightfully so. Bethune-Cookman head coach Terry Sims is going to make them punt it again. That was really good punt coverage the last time down, but the thing about Florida A&M punting, that's their weapon. That's like giving a Long John Daly another drive, a mulligan on the tee box. See if he can do it again.
Following a great tradition in history is Chris Fadul. Greg Coleman, who was an A&M graduate. First black punter in the NFL. So we do it again. Fadul unloads this time, doesn't get all of it. Takes a somewhat friendly bounce and goes out just near the 19. Come back with us to Camping World Stadium. Florida A&M on top, 3-0. The marching Wildcats starting to wake up here. Jay's getting so excited in the booth. I just wish y'all could see him. Last time I challenged you on what this song was. Yeah? Vice versa. Pastor Troy, after your time? Too soon. All right. The throw to Jonathan Thomas is complete.
Well, that's what you're in the booth for. You keep it a little bit young, a little more millennial style, and I'm old school. I'm cool with that. White paper.
I'm a Generation Xer.
So you even know the name of your generation, that lets me know something different. We just call ourselves old school.
Oh, God.
I'm in between the baby boomers.
Like past 40, I guess you all call yourselves old school, right?
Hey, 40's in the 30.
Okay. You're going to sit down and have some seats as Tupac gets me running out the backfield. Here's Israel going for it, finds his man, and broken up by Herman Jackson, the true freshman who they feel have great ball skills, perhaps their best DB in the secondary.
Yeah, he's just a freshman. He's been tested, and they knew he was going to get tested in this football game, so they really gave him a lot of extra reps in preparation for his first Florida Classic. And you see him there, gets caught in the trail position, but recovers just in time for the pass breakup. But when you get that much separation with a wide receiver getting behind the cornerback, you're going to see that look again. So they're going to probably try and test him one more time.
High snap brought down by Israel, and whoa! What a hit. Shaking it off was Jonathan Thomas, but delivering the blow was Terry Jefferson as the flag's on the field.
70. 10-yard penalty. Check it out.
What we're seeing a lot of team speed out here where they're flying around here, making contact. And Bethune-Cookman, we know they bring a lot of team speed, particularly at the linebacker position. In this case here, this is how you play linebacker in the state of Florida. Get up there and deliver the blow to the would-be carrier, and that's Terry Jefferson, the nickelback, coming up with the hit.
So 2nd and 20 for the Wildcats. Great protection for Israel. Airs it out. Has a man, Francois. Did he catch it?
Whoa, we're going to say he was in.
Yes. Wow. 48-yard reception for Stephon Francois.
And get up to the line of scrimmage right away and run a play. Don't give him a chance to review this. See, I'm thinking right away, get up there and try and clock it.
Let's look at this again.
Great effort. He slows down the legs, but we're gonna need a better look than that. We saw him trying to deaden his legs, but where does he catch the ball?
Right.
I think he catches the ball. Oh.
Okay, let's slow it down. So here you see him dragging. Oh, I don't know, Jay.
I think he was elevated. Let's see, is he elevated? He tries to drag him, but he extends. He's got the ball.
I think he's dragging that right foot, Jay.
I think that's going to be a catch.
I think that is a catch, and if so, it would stand as the longest play of the game and give Wildcats fans something to cheer about, because in their first 3 possessions, they've had to boot it away.
And that was 2nd and 20. So we talk about Israel likes to throw the ball downfield. That was purely on David Israel buying time with the scramble and heaving the ball downfield and allowing Francois to make a fantastic catch if it stands.
Our replay official in the booth, Dwight Pettiford, talking it over. Okay, so the ruling on the field is that it is a completion.
This is almost the best look here. You got to put it together. He doesn't have the ball. He's got the ball. I'm going to give him credit for having that foot down there. Don't look at where he lands. That's a great job, and I don't think there's enough to overturn the call on the field.
Correct. I'm in agreement with you, Jay.
First down.
And it is confirmed. So the 48-yard reception is good. And the Wildcats looking to get on the board.
Now, this Florida A&M defense, which we talked about, championship caliber defense. Bethune-Cookman still not in field goal range. So although you gave up the big play, stop them from getting the first down right now, and you can preserve your lead.
The RPO from Israel tucks it, runs himself, absorbs some contact from Terry Jefferson, and he pops up.
Yeah, this offense is just so much more explosive when you have David Israel in the game compared to Jabari Dunham. Israel, explosive, fast twitch muscles. As he's going off the field right now, he took a hard hit that last play.
So just think, first 19 plays, 78 yards, last 2 for 58. Popping to the outside is Jimmy Robinson. Jimmy was pushed out. by Orlando McKinley.
Now, the one thing I like more about Dunham than I do Israel, Dunham's going to get a ball to Jimmy.
Yeah.
You give him that zone read, he's going to let Jimmy Robinson run it unless he absolutely has to pull it, which I think is a great tool because, as we said before, your number one offensive weapon needs to touch the football as many chances as possible.
Now a 2 tight end set, first time in the red zone for Bethune-Cookman, and some movement up front along that O-line.
Number 70, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Javon Kemp Villalobos getting the start at right tackle for Nicholas Ruse, who's been banged up the last couple of weeks, and now with that penalty, David Israel returns to the game.
Now you call that zone read with Israel, he's going to keep it. But maybe they tell him, hey, hand it off. Sometimes you can call it from the sideline. It's a give, meaning you're going to hand the ball off regardless of what the defense does.
First and goal. Israel tries to thread the needle, finds Malik Jackson. And Jackson wrapped up by a number of orange jerseys. And on the stop, Orlando McKinley. Malik Jackson, though, a transfer from Florida State, already graduated. And he's a guy that they want to try to get in this offense more today.
Yeah, this is a quick release, bodies up, and makes the catch with good secondary coverage from Florida A&M, but this is just a nice throw. Perfect location, quick release from Israel, and the Wildcats are on the move.
Now second and goal from the 3. The handoff. Instead, Israel keeps it. Another RPO. Terry Jefferson again in on the tackle, so it's third and goal. What do you call here, Jay?
Call the same play and maybe tell him, give it to Jimmy Robinson, but that's just not what Israel does. Israel likes to be a factor.
Moving quickly to the front, and it looked like
maybe second surge, but I don't know. The first surge was not there. That was a delayed movement on that quarterback sneak. They're marking him short.
I think all the white jerseys tried to push forward, including Jimmy Robinson. But Elijah Richardson among those coming in over the top to slow him down, and now it's 4th and goal.
Call a timeout if you're Florida A&M.
And they're able to do so before the snap.
Before the snap, Florida A&M, second charge timeout, 30-second timeout.
And you saw the defensive coordinator, Ralph Street, sprint onto the field to try to get that timeout.
So that was the initial quarterback sneak, came up a little bit short, and smart call by Willie Simmons getting the timeout. They want to get some more beef in there. So I saw big number 75, who's a backup offensive lineman, coming to the game, Troy Wilkins, 330 pounds, so they're trying to stuff the middle in case they try another quarterback sneak.
Do you go with it again?
Yep.
Simple.
Yep. Make it simple. Go QB sneak. I mean, they almost had it. Better timing on that. Quarterback sneaks are so, it's a timing play. You got to get all your momentum going at the same time. Have your line know the snap count at the same time, and you got to be able to pick up 6 inches.
Brought in an extra lineman in Troy Wilkins. We'll see if they can push it in here.
Got it.
This time I think he sneaks underneath, and Israel's in for the touchdown. Wildcats on the board. And you saw the 2 running backs kind of create a triangle to help push the QB in.
And that's that thing where you can push the pile. You're allowed to do that. And the Wildcats have arrived here in Orlando, taking their first lead in this Florida Classic. See, they're the surge. They're trying to come over the top, but all you want to do is get a lean, then get low. Let the official find you across the goal line.
Israel's a tough cookie. He took a few hits on that drive, all for good as his team scores the touchdown. The extra point attempt from Uriel Hernandez is good.
Well, they got the ball to their playmakers. You get the ball to Jimmy Robinson, good things are going to happen. He gets you down that close. You give it to your quarterback for the sneak and the lead.
America's largest mortgage lender.
Kick off your Week 11 NFL Sunday with ESPN at 10 a.m. Eastern. Sam and the guys will have all the early breaking stories, injury updates, and preview each game right up to kickoff. And like everything else, it's live on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Do you have your eyes on any games in particular, Jay?
The Monday night, obviously, but that's the biggest game. I can't remember a Monday night football game this late in the season with those records. 9-1 both squads, so that's going to be something.
Who you got, Chiefs or Rams?
I got speed. I'm talking Tyreek Hill. I like Kansas City.
So 7-3 Bethune Cookman coming off a touchdown drive, capped off by a quarterback sneak, and Marcus Williams bringing the ball out on this kickoff return. Good yardage here as FAMU will start near just about the 26-yard line. Well, these two teams have been playing for a very long time, 73 years to be exact, and it started with Hansel Tukes and Lloyd Tank Johnson, two great athletic directors from those respective universities. And it started out in Tampa, then made its move over down I-4 to Orlando back in 1997. 1.9 million spectators since the Classic's inception. Quite impressive for sure. Ricky Henrillis, the new back end for the Rattlers. And Henrillis is a powerful back, brought down by Marquise Hendricks. And really, it's been running back by committee for the Rattlers this season. We've seen a steady dose of Deshaun Smith and Bishop Bonnet early on, now Ricky Henrillis. Yeah, and they've got some talented runners, and they're all young, so they're going to be around for a while. So you're talking freshman or sophomore throughout this starting offensive unit for Florida A&M. And now you see the thought process here from Willie Simmons, who elected to go with Ryan Stanley early on, was 6 of 7 to start the game. Since then, 1 of 4, but now they're trying to establish the ground game. Yeah, and I wonder about that. I thought staying aggressive, passing the football, you had a lot of success. Bethune didn't show they could stop your passing game, but they're going back with the running game now, trying to show a more balanced offense. Trying to bounce on the outside, not able to do so. Trenton Bridges from nearby land, Florida, drags down Henrillis. Bridges is a guy they had high expectations for throughout the season from his linebacker position, the fifth-year senior. And not only makes the contact, but drives him back for more negative yardage. Big play by Bridges. So now 3rd and 7. Florida A&M has yet to convert on the 3rd down. So an empty backfield, Henrillis in the slot. Now he's moving back to the left of Stanley. Takes his time, stands in, guns it, and wow! What a grab by Marcus Williams! The concentration and the sticky hands. Great concentration, but Ryan Stanley, big time throw. Pressure in his face, they were getting to him, could barely step into the throw and threw a strike, and Marcus Williams helped him out. This is what checks your toughness as a quarterback. You're going to see this, you see the hit, you know he's going to get hit, but still delivers a throw. Take a look at this. He knows it. That's the chuck and duck. Stanley going for it all. The fast man, Marcus Williams, just missing. Well, they were testing it. They wanted that one, and it was there, Jay. And it was there. And when they protect, Stanley can hurt you. So I like it. They're saying for Florida A&M, I think their best football player is going to be Ryan Stanley offensively. Give him some protection and keep the aggressive play calling. Plenty of air under this football, just missed by a half a yard from a touchdown throw. Ryan Stanley coming into this game, 5th all-time career passing for Florida A&M. Hands it off to Henrillis, trying to get behind his tacklers. Just nowhere to go. Devin James, the first to get to him, number 31 in white.
Yeah, that's tough because you're trying to run uphill. They've got 7 people in the box for Bethune-Cookman defensively.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, teamed in for the defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That is Bethune-Cookman football. They play aggressive, made a fantastic play, but after the play was over, assessed with a personal foul, 15-yarder, fresh set of downs for Florida A&M.
And Terry Sims cannot be happy with that after a great stop there from his defense. Now Florida A&M, who's averaging 27 points a game, got the first 3 on their opening drive and has gone cold since. Will they come away with points as David Manigo collects that one? We said it earlier, Jay. The coaches told us they feel like Manigo is one of those budding stars at wide receiver.
He's got the tools, just a freshman, but NFL talent, they said, if he works at it, if he continues to press, he's a guy that could play at the next level.
Xavier Smith on the carry. This is the second time today that Florida A&M has made it to the red zone.
And the Wildcat package coming up, huh?
Yeah.
Stanley's out of the game.
Azinde Ray, they like to use him in this Wildcat package because of his speed. Right back there with him is Ricky Henrillis. And Henrillis tried to go hard all the way, and I don't know if he was ready for that, Jay.
Yeah, for that snap. Didn't come out there with the proper timing. And the short yardage run for Florida A&M, that's hurt them so far today. Have to be able to convert packages like that.
Kia Ali, the senior, hit a 20-yard field goal to start the game. This one from 35.
Fake.
And the fake, Ali on the outside. First down yardage and more. Did anybody see it coming?
No.
And credit Chris Fadul with the nice toss.
Over the shoulder, little a la Les Miles, the Mad Hatter down at LSU. Everybody's thinking they're going for the field goal. All you want to do is touch it right over your shoulder. Gutsy call, but nice execution by the Rattlers.
You said all day that Willie Simmons has been aggressive. All day. Henrillis up ahead. Trenton Bridges there to stop him. Brings up 2nd and goal.
And they're having trouble establishing control of the line of scrimmage with the straight ahead run game. Problem is, you get down here in the red zone, you really don't like running jet sweeps and the sideways type runs that start that way, but they're going to have to get creative here. Maybe some misdirection against the defense if they want to try and run the football, because I don't see them having the ability to gash this defensive line.
Another sustained drive from the Rattlers, 12th play here. Stanley. Oh, man, that was dangerous. Henry Miller, his hands were on it first.
You'll see this is just covered all the way. Comes underneath the route. Lets him know. Dangerous pass. You got away with one. Good defense by Henry Miller.
Now 3rd and goal. 3 receivers set to the bottom of your screen. Stanley. A couple of orange jerseys in the vicinity, but nothing doing.
Yeah, they're not calling. I mean, they're yet to call a pass interference this game, so they're letting them play a little bit on the outside, and they've been consistent with it. So it's one you don't mind here. The receiver just kind of stops, gives up on the route. He's walled off on the inside, but I thought earlier it looked like Xavier Smith eased off his route, and they didn't give it to him.
So if Ali attempts this field goal and makes it from 24 yards, the Rattlers be within 1. The kick is good. So the last time Florida A&M decided to bring out Ali, they said, let me fake it. Yahia Ali helping to get 3 points for the Rattlers. He boots it through.
Introducing ESPN3 on Xfinity X1.
Back in beautiful Orlando, Florida for the Florida Blue Florida Classic from Camping World Stadium. Florida A&M down by 1 to Bethune, and look, the Wildcats can grab a share of the MEAC with an A&T loss. Right now, the Aggies are out to a convincing lead, 24-0. More importantly, Florida A&M knows exactly what's at stake. They had a chance to control their destiny against Howard University. They dropped it there, so it comes down to the final game, a berth at the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. Do you know how many Rattlers are in Atlanta, Jay?
I don't know, but I know Atlanta's had like 3 mayors that went to Howard University.
The current mayor of Atlanta,
that's true,
is Keisha Lance Bottoms,
Ms. Bottoms,
who is a graduate of what? Florida A&M University and the School of Journalism and Graphic Communication. Bobbled there on the kickoff.
Last time I checked, though, 3 was more than 1. We've had 3 mayors. All
we currently have 6 mayors across the country currently.
Mm-hmm.
That you know, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. 7-6. Bethune Cookman has the ball when you come back.
Hulu makes it so easy, the game will never be the same.
All year long of looking forward to the Florida Classic, but this year we just know it means so much more, Jay. A lot is on the line. FAMU could be in the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl, chance at a Black College National Championship as delayed handoff to Isaac Washington goes for about 9 yards.
And for both teams, I mean, give credit to both teams. I like it as a fan of college football when the Florida Classic means something. And it hasn't meant anything in quite a while, except for bragging rights. But now, Bethune-Cookman, they want to spoil FAMU's season. They want it to end right now. Florida A&M, $1 million on the line. They win this game, though. It's $1 million going to the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl.
The pass incomplete. David Israel wanted a flag there. On the stop was Terry Jefferson, intended target Stephon Francois. But Jay, let's go back to that conversation, because the Wildcats are sticking their chests out proudly. They won the last 7. The last time really the Florida Classic meant something was back in 2010.
Yep. And they've said it. They reminded you all the time, no matter what Florida A&M does, we're still going to beat them last week of the season in Orlando. And until FAMU can find a way to win, to quiet the noise, they're going to keep sticking their chest out, as you like to say, talking puffy and all that stuff. They're letting them know, we know who you Rattlers are. We beat you 7 straight, and they're up by 1.
You always have to have food with fellowship and the festivities, and that has to be like in some Old Bay seasoning. That shrimp, you got to put that in some Old Bay seasoning.
You from around here? What is that? What? Is that curry?
I can't call what that is. I'm not going to even try to act like I know, but I would like a plate. And if someone could save me one, I would greatly appreciate it. Stanley coming out passing quickly to Xavier Smith.
Minute and 38 left, down by 1. I'm aggressive with my play calling here. I want to go into halftime leading. So you've got a quarterback that's been delivering strikes so far in the first half. You challenge your offensive line to protect them, and you tell the wide receivers, we get you the ball, make some plays. We want to score.
1 timeout remaining for the Rattlers. Remember, they do receive the ball to start the second half. and a decision to try to run it with Bishop Bonnet on 2nd and 5. As you mentioned, Jay, about 90 ticks to go. That make you scratch your head a little bit.
Yeah, he's been aggressive with his play calling all of the first half, and then you go with the run play. You don't have many timeouts. Yeah, that's a head scratcher there.
So Bethune Cookman spins a timeout. We will take it with him, step aside, and come back to Camping World Stadium. Minute 20 to go, 3rd and 8 for Florida A&M. Before each team heads into the locker room, the Rattlers would certainly love to grab a score before going in. We got some driving to do, and Marcus Williams can help pilot them there. Big gain of 24 yards. And the Rattlers are across midfield.
And that's a surprise because Williams is a guy that they use for the deep ball, the go routes in the post. But this time they brought him underneath the coverage, and he showed you some speed, able to pick up the first down.
Good protection once again, and Manigo continued to bobble it. It was right there in his hands, and then
became fortunate the ball was not intercepted by either Marcus Hendricks or Devin James. But I go with the throw. This is an accurate throw. I mean, he's squeezing balls in small holes. You have to make that catch, gets hit. And once again, Florida A&M fortunate it wasn't an interception. But I'm really impressed by Stanley delivering the football across the football field.
Out to Azinde Ray, pretty much an extended run play. They pick up some positive yardage, just about 5, pushed out by Tydarius Peters.
And going with smart play calls. You look at the clock and you would say, oh, we got a minute left, we have to really accelerate it. No, you don't have to. A minute in the college football game's an eternity because you get to stop the clock after a timeout when they set the chain. So get your right personnel out there, and you want to be in a hurry but not rushed.
And remember, they still do have 1 timeout. Quickly out. Nice throw once again by Ryan Stanley to Xavier Smith.
He's throwing strikes, accurate. Balls on the left hash, taking the wide side slant route with accuracy.
First down. Moves him
Look
up.
out.
Wow. And the first flag coming out of that secondary with Xavier Smith there. Felt like there may have been some contact. We'll hear the call.
I actually thought this throw got away from Stanley. Should have gone someplace else with the football.
Defense number 21. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Pass interference on Peters, but I thought that ball got away from him. So this is the end of the route. Gets turned around. I mean, one ball should have been intercepted. That's a questionable call. One I've seen that's a little bit questionable so far today.
7th penalty today for Bethune Cookman.
Rather a little trick play.
Trickeration right there. Didn't fool many people, especially in the white jerseys. And Florida A&M spends their final timeout. So don't forget, folks, coming up at the half, 2 terrific bands as the Marching Wildcats of Bethune Cookman University and Florida A&M University's Marching 100 coming up on the way. But I know everyone wants to stick around, not for the bands, but for jaywalkers. Give me 5.
And you think I'm going to get it started with the dance team nicknames? I'm going nicknames. I'm not going by how well the dance teams perform. I'm going by the nicknames, some creative intuition with these nicknames out there. And like always, I'm going to get it right. But I want to hear, I'm a little female touch on this one. So we'll see what you think. We'll let you grade my Give Me 5 at the hat.
I'll be glad to have, some input. I was, see, I can dance like, at a party. Like, good with that. I wish I had, like, the ability to do it on the field. Third time today in the red zone. Here come the Rattlers. Stanley finds his man on the outside. Terrific throw. Did he come down with it? Yes! Touchdown! Marcus Williams! What a throw by Ryan Stanley, and even better catch from Marcus Williams for 22 yards.
Marcus Williams, they tell us he's a track guy that's getting better in football. Well, this looked like a big-time wide receiver holding on to this football for the touchdown grab. The placement of the ball in nice hands to hold on and grasp that ball by Marcus Williams. And this is one of those balls you say, if he comes up with it and shows it to the official, it's a touchdown.
And that looked good to me, Jay. If you look at, he has it there.
Got it there.
Comes down. Yep.
Holds it close to his chest. The foot is in bounds. Secures the ball. That's a touchdown.
Obviously, the play is under review right now, but that's probably an easy call.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
We'll strike up the fans for the Rattlers as Florida A&M scores their first touchdown of the ball game.
And that's impressive because you want to close out the first half with momentum and the lead, going from the trail position, and now they got a great opportunity to go into halftime with the lead. Good job by the Rattlers.
Ali to try to push it through for the PAT. And Florida A&M on top, 13-7.
So you see Stanley make the quick decision where to go with the football on the outside, and the rest is Marcus Williams securing the football for that one, and they got something to celebrate here in Orlando for Florida A&M as the Rattlers have the lead.
And Ryan Stanley, judging him as a quarterback, obviously you played in the MEAC, all MEAC performer, Hall of Famer as well, and playing in the NFL. What does Ryan Stanley do, or how does he stand out to you in today's game?
Got a nice release, nice delivery, and if you can protect him, he really hurts. He looks to hurt the defense. Sometimes you take what the defense gives you, whatever. No, he's going to go to the right place with the football and throw an accurate throw and give his wide receivers an opportunity to make a play. That's what all wide receivers want. Just to know if I run the route and I get open, I got a quarterback that can put the ball there, and Ryan Stanley's been that for Florida A&M today.
Squib kick once again, the toss back to Jimmy Robinson, the playmaker for the Wildcats. Woo! And he was tripped up. Oh, he knew he had daylight nearby. Well, what a game this should be between two of the NFL's top teams in LA instead of Mexico. Our Week 11 Monday Night Football matchup has Patrick Mahomes and the 9-1 Chiefs taking on Todd Gurley and the 9-1 Rams. 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific on ESPN. Also simulcast in Spanish on ESPN News and the ESPN app, so you can catch it anywhere.
How about those young guns?
Yeah.
How about those quarterbacks, Mahomes, but Jared Goff really proved some of the early naysayers in his career wrong.
Well, the Wildcats have good field position. They could get within striking distance for a field goal. But a drop there from Malik Jackson. The Wildcats still working with 2 timeouts.
And the key for them is they don't have a lot of faith in their kicking game, so they've got to go a long way in order to get field goal range. You're talking 40-plus yards in 20 minutes. Now, they've got some weapons that can get there in a hurry. But starting off the drive with an incomplete pass short, not the way you want to do a hurry-up offense.
And Jimmy Robinson is one of those players that can get you there in a hurry. Israel with all kinds of time, tries to find Thomas on the outside, and it's incomplete. So 14 seconds to go before the half. Israel electing to hold on to it, and brought down by Derek Mayweather. And that should be the end of the half. Florida A&M with no timeouts remaining.
That's into the second quarter.
And the Rattlers take the lead on their last drive of the half. A strike to the back of the end zone to Marcus Williams. 13-7. Florida A&M on top in the Florida Blue Florida Classic.
It's a new phrase they're saying, but Ebony Fire has been their name for a long time, so I'm giving credit to the institute down there, Hampton University.
They would say a premier institution. Don't shortchange them, Jay. As we start off the second half, the Rattlers are back on offense. Last possession, it was Ryan Stanley to Marcus Williams. But looking at first half highlights, great catches all the way around.
Big plays. It was the big plays of the first half that really tell the story. Big plays set up the little quarterback sneak that came in there. But it was the big plays, the wide receivers on the outside, one-on-one matchups coming up with big plays. And that one there, right before the half, gave Florida A&M its lead.
Ryan Stanley started the game hot, cooled off just a little bit, but picked it back up towards the end of that first half as Bonnet on the carry.
Can I disclose something when we take a look at the first half stats to see? I really thought that Florida A&M moved the ball more efficiently than Bethune Cookman did there, but on the scoreboard they're only up by 6. And those penalties, Bethune Cookman penalties, 7 penalties, 60 yards. One of them was huge. They kept a drive alive for Florida A&M. And I think that's been the difference in this game.
So Bonnet still in the backfield, 2nd and 5. He gets the handoff once again, straight ahead. And we saw this O-line do a good job of protecting, because really one of the concerns we heard from Coach Simmons earlier in the week is that this is an offensive line who has had some growing pains throughout the season, has given up a lot of sacks. Didn't feel like they've played their best the last 2 weeks, but they've stepped up today.
When they protect, Stanley's shown he can deliver the football, so if they can keep the protection up in the second half, could be a good sign for Florida A&M.
Ryan Stanley, the redshirt junior out of Pembroke Pines, Florida.
But this is where they struggle. 3rd and short, they had their struggles, not able to run the football for first downs. And they struggle again.
Yep. Once more, Smith brought down by Todney Evans, and a penalty marker as well.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5 men in the backfield. That plays decline. 4th down.
Yeah, they struggle again. Let me say this one thing. I'll make a declaration. It's not going to make me a popular guy, Tiffany. I won't be popular. But for the first time in about 10 years, I've been down here doing this Florida Classic. I think the Marching 100 won the battle at halftime. And I say, everybody knows I love Bethune Cookman's band. But they had a nice Aretha tribute in there. They put some Parliament in there.
Boomerang.
It was impressive.
You were singing at the half. I mean,
impressive. Good job, Marching 100.
See, now I can pull up your line of giving credit where credit is due.
I tell you, I call it like I see it all the time.
5-yard penalty. 4th down.
And one of the things to be watched when you watch Fadul on the punt team for Florida A&M, he's got probably the best leg in FCS, but he's had 5 punts blocked this year. So they always say when we can protect him, he's an effective punter. But be aware of the block.
Fadul already had a 64-yard punt. Wildcats were nearby on that one. And look at this. Oh, my goodness. And can they get it right at the goal line? My Lord.
Look at him. Dust it off, young man. He pulled out the driving wedge.
7 yards. Look at Chris Abdul flip that field.
College Football Playoff Top 25 Ranking Show, Tuesday at 7 Eastern on ESPN. Presented by Capital One.
ESPN College Football presented by McDonald's. Now that's the scene outside Camping World Stadium, just at the intersection of Tampa and Church Street. But they are taking it to them 13-7. Florida A&M taking it to them. We're talking about the folks in Durham, okay? How about North Carolina A&T just laying it on heavy on top of North Carolina Central?
They're good to see Lamar Raynard, the quarterback, is playing. He was in the concussion protocol. His final final regular season game as a quarterback, didn't want to watch it. The Aggies got 31-0 on their in-state rival, North Carolina Central. The Aggies want to let it be known they're going to continue to play in the postseason. Florida A&M needs to continue to win this football game, or else their season will come to an end.
So much at stake here as the Bethune Cookman Wildcats pin deep, and then all of a sudden, Tupac Ismi breaks out. My goodness, ladies and gentlemen, talking about coming through, dripping, drip, drip, 99 yards, Tupac Ismi. Hello.
Rivalry games, anything can happen in a game of this magnitude. 99-yard run on a play that should have been stopped for potential safety. Take a look at Bruce here. Watch him get to the second level. Not going to give up on the play. He's going to sit there, so I need to block somebody, clear it out there, and then get up to the second level again. That seal block, that's what really sprung Ismi for the score. Wow.
And there it is. Just like that, Bethune Cookman takes the lead. 99 yards, Jay, in 16 seconds.
16 seconds. He was getting it, had to make a miss. Became a foot race, and there's a lot of speed on the field. These are two Florida football teams. But Tupac Ismi from Naples, Florida, Lely High School goes to the house running back's dream. Can't get no further than that.
His third touchdown of the season, and while you said they may not have won the battle of the bands at halftime, they're winning this game right now. They all the well know what's at stake. Bethune Cookman could grab a share of that MEAC title if things maybe flip in Durham. On the other side, Florida A&M wants a MEAC championship and a berth into the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. It all rides on this game.
The Celebration Bowl berth, and what did Austin Powers say? $1 million.
You got to put the pinky to the corner of your mouth too when you do it. Francis on the kickoff. Here's Xavier Smith. Smith trying to bounce to the outside. Smith with some room, and he's pushed out.
Yeah.
And Francis called for the unsportsmanlike penalty.
That's Bethune Cookman. That's what they do, Tim.
On that late hit right there, and add 15 more yards to it.
Yeah, really nice return by Smith. I like the way he set it up like he was going to the middle, and one hard plant, bounce outside, turned on the Jets. In a game like this, you can't take that penalty.
After the play, personal foul, kicking team, number 39, 15-yard penalty will be enforced for the end of the run, first down.
So he went out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Now he's going to tack on 15 yards. Florida A&M picks up 1 or 2 first downs. They kick the field goal. They got the lead back. They took the momentum back, and you'll see he's out of bounds. And the shove, the push, you just can't do it.
From the kicker.
From the kicker. I mean, everybody knew he was out of bounds, and he decided to take one on him. The momentum you gain can go out the door with a couple first downs to the field goal, and the Rattlers back on top.
So now great field position to start for this offensive unit for the Rattlers, out to Azende Ray. And Ray picks up good yardage on first down.
And this is good quarterback play here. You got Bethune Cookman trying to get him out of field goal position. They're going to bring the slot blitz, but Stanley sees it so early. He's coming here. When he tries to take this angle here, that means you got one-on-one on the outside. Good job by the receiver making the block. And you know right now, I just got one guy have to make miss, go through and pick up a lot of yards. That's a nice recognition by Stanley.
Ryan Stanley had a solid game thus far. The handoff to Deshaun Smith, and Smith finds a hole and blocking, trying to get to the outside, showing off a little speed. Mr. Florida football out of Nature Coast, out of Brooksville, 17 yards on the game.
Good job on the bounce to the outside. I think we're starting to see both teams' best effort. Offensively, they might have figured out a couple of things. And that was a good job by the offensive line. Good sign that you need to see for Willie Simmons' offensive line. They had their struggles with running the football in the first half. Maybe they've made second half adjustments.
1st and 10 now. Back in the red zone are the Rattlers. Stanley finds his target easily in Azinde Ray. And Ray wrapped up by Trevor Merritt and company. But a 9-yard completion on 1st down.
And that is perfect. That's what you want. When your team is struggling in short yardage, if you can give me 2nd and 1 from the 7-yard line, I will take that over 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. You get a chance to get a couple extra yards, see if you can move the pile and try and get the running game going in short yardage.
Going for it in the end zone and through the hands of Manigo.
Henry Miller. You know, these Florida folks, they show out. You know, they show out. They came out with the chrome helmets, and they're playing in front of the largest crowd they'll see all season. Bethune is doing a good job making Florida A&M work for everything they get. FAMU really needs to pick up this 1st down. That's why I was surprised they threw the ball on 2nd down. They've not been able to run against Bethune-Cookman in short yardage.
There on the sweep, Ray fighting for that yardage close to the 1st down marker.
That depends on that spot.
Yeah.
It looks like they're going to mark him just a little bit short.
Just short. And in this situation, Jay, what do you do? In the first quarter on the opening drive, you say take the 3 points. You're down by 1. Now what's your call?
You always take the lead when you get a chance. And I know it's not popular, but the way they've been manhandling you on the line of scrimmage in short yardage situations, you got to get the lead when you can. I would have challenged that spot, though. I thought he was on the 5-yard line.
Well, this is a big 4th down coming up for the Rattlers. They read Azinde Ray all day long. Todney Evans wraps him up. Ball comes loose and recovered by FAMU. Matters not. Turnover on downs and an empty trip down the field for the Rattlers. Truly a missed opportunity.
Conference championships. To get to MLS Cup, you gotta take it all the way up. The Audi 2018 MLS Cup playoffs, Sunday on ESPN and FS1.
Talk about this 4th down call. Tremendous job of penetration by Todney Evans, who played a great game. He's been a problem for him up front. 4th and less than 1. I don't like jet sweep. You have to move forward, going sideways, sideline to sideline. Not the play call you would like. Good job by the defense of Bethune-Cookman and their defensive coordinator, Charles Yogi Jones.
So a chance there for the Rattlers, spoiled by the Wildcats defense. And Israel with time took a shot and it looked like the defender fell down, and Kevon Mitchell comes up with the catch. So Bethune-Cookman continuing to make plays, Jay.
Yeah, the chess backs, they're relying upon the big play to keep him in the game. And this is just a great job of going to get it by Keyron Mitchell. Secures the football. The senior playing in his final game as a Wildcat comes up with a huge catch.
And Israel took a shot on that throw at 37 yards. Gets Bethune moving, juking a defender. Israel let it go again. It looked like he was just on skates, Jay.
He's a gunslinger, and he's got the move. And here's what I want you to play quarterback better. Watch this. This is athletic. The juke right here, after he jukes him, get you 5-6 yards. It's first down. Run the ball. Don't give me the incomplete. But he was so happy with the highlight juke. Well, now you're looking at 2nd and 10.
And because of that, now we're seeing Jabari Dunham perhaps on the field, or just giving a breather to Israel. But one of the things Terry Sims said about Jabari Dunham was the fact that he's a good decision maker. You see there, he hands it off to Tupac Ismi. He just likes the way he manages the game a little bit better.
Yeah, he's going to hand the ball off. That's what we know. When Israel's in there, we've rarely seen Israel do the handoff. But once again, Dunham comes in. An obvious passing situation. Last time they had this in the game in the first half, they called a screen pass. Let's see if they open up the playbook a little bit more for Dunham.
3rd and 6. And Ismi goes for a short gain.
Yeah.
Cut him off was Antonio Miller.
And I'm just going back to, okay, if Israel's hurt, then okay, he shouldn't be in the game. But he made a mistake and you pulled him out and you brought in a quarterback that hasn't thrown the ball, not warm. After a running play, you hand off again. It's like you deflated your whole offense because your quarterback made a bad read. That's that quarterback shuffle. They do it with Bethune Cookman.
Francis on to punt it. And a touchback. So we'll step aside. Florida A&M with the ball when you come back. Now it's time to bring you the flavor presented by McDonald's.
Let's go Rattlersvs, trying to put some venom in them.
That's a pre-Thanksgiving meal right here from the Florida Classic.
That's the best looking thing I saw. I like this rotisserie grill, so to speak. But I'm not eating no ribs coming off the flat iron like that. Don't fry my ribs. Smoke them.
Trying to get too fancy, and there, bobbled in the hands of Trevor Merritt. He's got the interception and is still on his feet. Can't wrap him up, and now he goes down. So that ball bobbled, and Trevor Merritt comes up with the INT. There's an injured Wildcat on the field, and linebacker Marquise Hendricks.
One thing we know Stanley can do, he can squeeze the ball in small places, but this one is tipped underneath by the down defender, Marquise Hendricks. And you see he does not get back up during that return. A great job getting underneath the seam route with the tip. Forces the ball to hang a little bit. Good job by Trevor Merritt on the interception. And the Wildcats lead by 1 with an opportunity to increase their lead. I'm just going back to that 4th down.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt you. I mean, we kept talking about during the break, and any chance you get to get a lead in a close ball game, you take it.
And it seems like Big Mo swung back in favor of Bethune Cookman. Look, they've been able to talk a lot of noise. We saw in that clip to come back from break. They got a lot of pride, but they also have been winning this game the last 7 straight against Florida A&M.
One of the few times we've seen David Israel hand off the football to Jimmy Robinson. So I think maybe they got the message like, hey, we want you to give him the ball unless they take it from you.
And we learned that Jimmy Robinson was fighting a little bit of the flu bug or stomach bug this week. And so that may have slowed him down because we have not called his name as much as we expected today. Robinson lined up in the backfield, the senior. Ever dangerous when he touches the ball.
Yeah, you can tell it. You see David Israel, his body language. This doesn't excite him, but you're giving the ball to an explosive guy. So you're not seeing Israel carry out the fakes afterwards, and they're calling from the sideline, hey, hand the ball off to Jimmy Robinson. Now you get third down. Now they'll open it up a little bit and give him that run or pass or quarterback keep option.
Bethune Cookman yet to convert on a third down today. They have their chance. Israel looking to sling it down and skips it to Mitchell.
Yeah, and that was tough because, before the play, I was wondering, is that 4-down territory? And you think, well, you pick up a couple yards, yes, you'll go for it, but an incomplete pass, didn't get the yardage. Now you're going to bring out the special teams unit.
And so we saw them elect to not go for it at the 30-yard line. They inched in just a little bit closer, and Uriel Hernandez.
Mad Uriel Hernandez. He's an angry dude. A kicker with an attitude.
44-yard attempt for Hernandez. I'm waiting for the stare down if he makes it. This one, does it have the leg? It just gets through. The celebration afterward, and Hernandez is pumped up. So are the Wildcats. Joys in the game, and Uriel Hernandez certainly brings it. The intimidation from the 5'4" kicker. He's got highs, he's got lows, the emotion that spills over, and this was the game winner against North Carolina Central on Thursday night.
And he said, I knocked it out of the park there. But got a short memory, and look at this right here. In the Florida Classic, you know he's going to give you something. He's telling everybody, hey, I got ice water in my veins, man. Ice water in my veins.
Was so great. Knocks it out the park. That is his signature. We learned that when they traveled to Lincoln, Nebraska, he became a star there. Folks were just asking him for interviews, still calling now. And I asked the coaches, like, how do they feel about that? For a kicker, we've talked about that position being so interesting as Marcus Williams brings it out. Good return, but a penalty flag on the field. And the coaches say, look, we love it. Bring that. We need that. We want it.
Kickers are quirky, so whatever they have to do to make field goals, you let them do it. And he's a quirky guy there, intense guy. It's been a pleasure to call games for him.
Yeah. That penalty assessed against Florida A&M. And what I think is so unique is that we didn't even show, like, the PATs.
Yeah.
The point after attempts, you get stare downs if you're the opponent.
He looks at the guy in their face that's trying to block it. He'll look at him while he's laying on the ground. He'll look at the opposing sideline and stare him down. High animation. And like I said, 5'4", about 210 pounds. That's a thick 5'4".
Fun to watch for sure. Well, the Rattlers, what do they have to do now to try to answer here down by 4?
I think it's going back to throwing the football, even though this is a very good run here, but it starts with the protection. If you can protect Stanley, yes, he threw the interception, but he's also can throw you the game winner. So I think this offense goes when he's getting the ball to those explosive, dynamic wide receivers he has on the outside.
And when he came into camp, obviously he was a starting quarterback last year, but they had a coaching change. And when Willie Simmons took over, the coaches said, look, he impressed us. And so is Ricky Henrillis impressing again. But that's probably going to have some discussion as the penalty markers on the field for that 24-yard run.
Holding. Offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Wow, number 70 in Wonko, the guard. Coming right there. They got a double team. So this right here is where number 70 is. They've got a double team. Oh, wow. That was a quick flag.
Tough call there. So erase that 24-yard gain. It's 2nd and 12. But back to our discussion about, Ryan Stanley, him taking over again, and guys really respect and like him because he can make all the throws, and we've seen that this afternoon. He's picked up the offense quickly thus far, 16 of 26, 183 yards and a touchdown. The handoff once more to Ricky Henrillis. And his number's sake on the other side, Henry Miller with the tackle.
Guess who's underneath those orange towels? Willie Simmons, the head coach, offensive coordinator calling the plays. They're not chancing anything. He is completely covered by those towels when he's giving the signal.
And normally we see a lot of distracting, boards up with different images. Just go with those simple towels. That's all good. Henrillis again to the outside. And more laundry.
This may be on number 54. Andre Regis.
Holding. Offense. Number 61. 10-yard penalty from the spot of foul. Replace third down.
Sits on the right guard, Lubens Polonese. So every time they take a step forward, they keep going backwards.
Yeah, perimeter runs, and they're calling a little bit tight on the inside, which is a bit surprised. I thought the early one wasn't a hold. That one there, a little bit more obvious of a hold on the outside perimeter.
Stanley back to pass, into double coverage. Tough throw,
no way.
And a flag coming out again.
It's not catchable. That one there, that ball is just not catchable. They should pick that up. Now, if you're going to call a holding, okay, but pass interference has to be a catchable ball.
Both Kennedy and Dukwe and Elliott Miller were the two Wildcats around Marcus Williams.
Let's take a look at this. He's throwing into double coverage. And a slight reroute. I mean, that ball is there. He can't get to the ball. He missed. And I think they picked it up, they gave him the first down.
They gave him the first down. So Henrillis once more to the outside. He likes popping into the perimeter on the right.
Yeah, we never got a call from the official. Did they call pass interference or did they call holding? So they called pass interference, and in that case, I think they were saying that ball was catchable. That was underthrown by about 4 or 5 yards, but it's over with now. Florida A&M gets a break and gets to keep their drive alive.
Right up the middle to Sean Smith. Smith almost took a knee, still going. Out near the 30. 15-yard pickup wrapped up by Donald Johnson.
Smith, a good one. You called him Mr. Florida earlier. The one guy on the team that knows what it's like to be Mr. Florida in a football crazy state.
Boy, this quarter's been...
False start. Offense. Number 85. 5-yard penalty. First down.
They've been riddled with penalties.
It's sloppy. But the bad thing for Florida A&M, sloppy, ugly football games normally go the favor of Bethune Cookman. Bethune wants to beat you ugly. And they've made this an ugly football contest. And that's why they've got the 4-point lead right now. 4
penalties on this drive combined. Now 1st and 15. Pass complete to Marcus Williams, still spinning, still going. And several Wildcats there to bring them down. Kennedy and Dukeway among them.
Williams can hit the gas pedal in a hurry. Let me ask you something, Chip. You're a fan, you something like that. You ever heard of Rack Boys?
The Rack Boys?
The Rack Boys.
I don't know about that.
Florida A&M had this group called the Rack Boys, run after catch. That's what they perfected under that Billy Joe area. Jaquay Nunley,
for sure.
One of the Rack Boys. That remind me of the Rack Boys. Throw it short and pick up yards after the catch.
Patient running there from Ricky Henrillis.
And then everybody else in college football, they call it yak yards. Yards after catch. But no, FAMU and Tallahassee, it was the Rack Boys, run after the catch. And I really like what we've seen from Marcus Williams. They say he's a track guy, but man, he's running routes, getting out of breaks, and speed is something that comes to the stadium every day, and he's got plenty of it.
No shortage on it for sure. The handoff once more to Henrillis, and Dukeway the first to greet him.
Now, if you're Florida A&M right now, you're moving the ball, but you've struggled in these situations all day. Short yardage down inside the red zone. They just have not been able to establish a straight ahead run game. They've been able to run the ball off tackle, but you'd like to think they can run forward because they can still pick up a first down on the 5-yard line. But I think they've got to pass it here.
Instead, they go with Henrillis. Henrillis thought he found a crease. Picked up some good yards, brought down by Devin James. So third now as the Rattlers in their 5th trip to the red zone.
And they need to come away with the touchdown but some points.
Well, how much do you think Willie Simmons is rethinking that call of going for it on 4th down instead of the field goal? Here's 3rd and 4. Stanley with plenty of time has an open man in the end zone, coming back to it. Did he catch it? Yes! The true freshman, George Webb. Ryan Stanley, they say he's mobile enough, stayed alive, kept his eyes in the end zone, and found number 7, George Webb, for the touchdown.
Yeah, Webb does a good job coming across the formation, and Stanley stays accurate on the go with a big touchdown for the Rattlers.
This one blocked.
Look out.
It could be returned. Oh boy, nobody's in front of him. Talking about the Florida speed. How about a homecoming for Vernon Walker out of Dr. Phillips High School? 2 points for the Wildcats. And just like that, we're tied at 19.
It's a rivalry game. Anything can happen, and this classic has taken a lot of twists and turns, but for the 2nd time in consecutive games, Bethune Cookman, point after block team, has put 2 points on the board. Low trajectory kick, nice scoop, and score.
Man, oh man. You talk about relying on the big play. Vernon Walker, a 94-yard PAT return for a touchdown. Then Tupac Ismi breaking it away for 99 yards.
Yeah, it's one of those days that they made it ugly. They made it ugly, and they're trying to hit each other with haymakers. Bethune Cookman's not going to use the jab. They're using the haymaker over the top punch to go for the knockout. There's FAMU. Can't get out of their own way sometimes. What a game. And Florida A&M is not playing like they want that $1 million.
This is fun, Joe.
It's been outstanding.
This is fun. And look, there has been so much drama at the end of games for the Wildcats, but especially when you bring it here to the Florida Classic. I mean, we've had some nail biters. Last year was no different. This year is shaping up to be perhaps the same. And the touchback. So coming up later on over on ABC, our college football Saturday rolls with another big one. This one in the AAC. Number 24 is Cincinnati taking on number 11 UCF at 8 p.m. Eastern. Like everything else, you can watch it live on the ESPN app from everywhere. You think Josh Heupel is hyped at his UCF Knights?
He should be upset. How do you have a program, and he's a first-year head coach, but you're talking about a team that hasn't lost a football game in, going on 2 years, and they can't get a shot to play for a national championship. All they want is a shot. They have to fix that.
What must they do to prove themselves in your mind? Is there anything more that they could do?
No, you can only win the games on your schedule, and it's not like teams are knocking down the door. You don't have University of Florida or Florida State and all these schools saying, oh yeah, we want to play you. They're not playing them. So that's the tough part, but I think they deserve a shot. I mean, you just can't do that much winning and not get an opportunity to play. And they know for the whole season there's no room for error. They know if they lose once, that's it. So they've kept winning and winning and winning. And do you know what is UCF, what I'm reading right, are they now the largest institution in the state of Florida enrollment-wise?
That is correct. That is correct, and they're among the largest in the nation. And
growing. I saw some more student housing being built by our hotel downtown, and an auxiliary campus they're going to have. So, it's almost one of those things, just a matter of time before one of the Power 5 conferences tries to pick them up.
Right. Kevon Mitchell was the Wildcat. It took his time to get off. And a rocket in to Stephon Francois. Wrapped up by Terry Jefferson, good for 18 yards. 12 seconds to go in the quarter. And that will likely be the last play of the quarter unless they snap it before. And there we hit all zeros. We move to the final quarter of the Florida Blue Florida Classic.
The big plays have been there. Nice touchdown throw from Stanley, but they didn't capitalize it. Bethune responds with a scoop and score to tie it at 19.
The Possession of Hannah Grace. Rated R. November 30th.
That's what I love about it. These guys put their foot on the gas pedal and don't let up. Speed all over the field. Tupac Ismi already with a 99-yard score. Israel with time. Down the seam. What a throw and catch. Malik Jackson, the speedster, hauls it in. And he is slow to get up as he's able to run off. But first and goal for the Wildcats.
And the Wildcats have been using the explosive play, the big plays, and it continues right there with a nice throw from Israel to Jackson.
44 yards. And now the handoff. And Tupac Ismi is stuffed inside, and Antonio Miller is there to say hello.
And Israel keeps it in front of him, puts nice air underneath the throw, allowing Jackson to run under the ball, readjust. He found the soft spot in the defense and attacked for the big play. And this is where both offenses have struggled in short yardage, goal line situation. FAMU's defense has been good, so has Bethune Cookman. So come down and see if they can hold him to just a field goal attempt.
Israel faked out everybody, including me. Jabari Dunham with the touchdown run. They like to slide in new quarterbacks. Dunham is in for the 5-yard scamper.
They like Gunn because he's going to make the right decision with the football. This is just a zone read. The defensive lineman collapses on the running back as a quarterback. That's when you pull it and run. He made the right decision. That's how they scored the touchdown.
Wildcats have won 7 in a row in this Florida Classic. They're trying to make it 8. They're making the Rattlers shaking their boots.
The Florida Classic is presented on ESPN by McDonald's.
Battle of the Bands last night, a weekend long of festivities. So much fun, heart pumping right now, Jay, especially if you're a Rattler, because you are in the driver's seat. You control your own destiny. You had the opportunity 2 weeks ago to do it against Howard. You fell short. Now it comes down to this, and Bethune Cookman walking through with all kinds of confidence right now.
They said it. Florida A&M's had a great year, but Bethune-Cookman has beaten Florida A&M in 7 consecutive Florida Classics. So we knew if FAMU was going to make it to the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl, they're going to have to go through their in-state rival. And what a football game this has been.
And look, that Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl would mean a whole lot to Rattler Nation, especially under first-year head coach Willie Simmons, given the fact that this program was 3-7 last year and had really seen some dark days, but there's been a resurgence in Tallahassee, and he's helped to illuminate that. Bishop Bonnet on the carry. Jerome Howard on the stop. A couple of helmets fly off. And lest we not forget, North Carolina A&T and North Carolina Central were playing for something as well. Great rivalry going on in Durham. And with a down year for the Eagles, who have soared high in that game in years past and tripped up the Aggies, looks like A&T is all about their business today.
And pitching a shutout up there. Impressive win for Sam Washington. Nice throw. And that's a throw you don't see a lot of college quarterbacks with the ability to throw. 10-yard out route, pull him back 2 yards, enough to pick up the first down yardage. And that's what you used to measure all quarterbacks by in terms of arm strength. Can you throw that 10-yard out, that 20-yard out, which is extinct now? But Stanley has the ability to do that, and I just think they're going to win it if they can protect him and throw the football. Because you can't run against Bethune-Cookman. You have not been able to do it. You've only been able to run off tackle. So I'm opening up the passing game, trying to make this a shootout.
And look, Stanley had struggled with some back stiffness. Looks all good today. And the handoff to Bonnet, Bishop Bonnet. And we just talked about just the turnaround. You know, he had great success when he did it at Prairie View A&M, and in his first year, they got off to their best MEAC start in a long time at 5-1 now. But you look at that conference record under 2018, it's quite abysmal.
Yeah. And like we said before, one of the most storied programs in all of HBCU football, particularly the MEAC. And it's good to see them competing. And they're relevant. Don't know if they're going to win, what's going to happen, but having FAMU play well is good for the black college football landscape.
Last title came under Joe Taylor back in 2010 after knocking off Bethune-Cookman in this Florida Classic.
And they went out and got Willie Simmons.
Yeah.
I mean, Willie was coaching well at Prairie View A&M, had them go in the right direction. They went out and got Willie Simmons. And you go out and get him for games like this. You want his offensive creativity to win the Florida Classic.
Stanley doing a good job. George Webb, who caught the touchdown pass earlier with the grab. Tydarius Peters and Elliott Miller right there. That moves the sticks and keeps the drive going. And Willie Simmons is no stranger to the Panhandle, especially that Big Bend area. Originally from Quincy, self-proclaimed country boy for sure. Grew up knowing all about FAMU and its football tradition and history. Wife graduated there 2 times.
Willie transferred to FAMU.
Yep, but at that time they were going through
the transition. Maybe going 1A. But he transferred there. A lot of people don't know he played quarterback at Clemson, but he was going to play at Florida A&M had they made the move to Division I. How far is Quincy from Tallahassee?
About 25 miles.
Okay. Yeah, so he knew that Rattler, and he had a vision for the job and what he thought could become it. I wasn't necessarily sure it was a better job than he had at Prairie View, but something about going home.
Yeah.
And he's shown that they're going to be around for a while.
You talked about the 7 Fs and that number of completion, and you got a chance to talk to him earlier, but the 7 Fs of excellence that he really focused on was fundamentals and fight, and each day they come out and let's play fast, let's finish, let's have fun, family and faith. He's helped to do a good job of instilling that in this team and helping them to think that they can win again. This senior class has never beaten Bethune-Cookman.
Never. And just like we say, winning's contagious, losing's contagious as well. And once you start to become a loser, you start accepting losing. And they stopped accepting that and started realizing they can win. But they need to be a little bit more consistent. They lose focus from time to time because they're so new to having success. Thus the loss at Howard. Thus the loss to South Carolina State last week.
And tough yards picked up by Henrillis, and in those 3rd and short situations on this drive, they're starting to put it together.
Yeah, and what they're doing is they're running off tackle. So they realize, normally short yardage, you want to run right up the middle, downhill. They can't do that, so now they're bringing their tackles into the game. And the tackles are doing a pretty good job in Polonice and Dalton.
6 runs on this drive. 3rd pass coming up. Stanley putting a lot of air underneath it. Very dangerous throw. Why? Trevor Merritt already with an INT today.
Yeah, risky, and the protection was there. Just trying to let it go, and fortunate Merritt didn't come away with his 2nd interception. I'd still like to see him try one of those jet sweeps now. You've got this Bethune-Cookman defense on the ropes a little bit. You got guys that really like to get it. Xavier Smith, who's been a good player for him in this game. Get it to some of those dynamic wide receivers you have creatively.
There's Bonnet trying to work it on the outside. There's Marcus Ford for the junior out of Gibsonton, Florida.
And that's that off tackle, continuing to run off tackle. And to combat that, we've seen Bethune-Cookman now go to a 3-man defensive line. So you want to run off tackle, they're going to put some more speed on the field.
So a sideline warning issued to Bethune-Cookman. 3rd and 8, an obvious passing situation for Florida A&M. So dangerous, and it was tipped. And now, what do you do as Trenton Bridges got a piece of it?
Coming underneath, and it all started with the pressure, and Bridges came back to get back in that route. I think you do a pooch punt if you have it. In this game here, field position so critical. You got to kick this ball away.
Well, you have Chris Fadul, the best in the nation.
At kicking it deep.
But he might be able to pin him. We've seen him do it already today. And more importantly, you've got to rely on your championship defense that you talked about in the open. If you're Florida A&M, 2nd in the conference, top 20 in the nation.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
That declined to coming. But, right now I feel like, hey, some guys that I play golf with. Now, Fadul's proven he can drive the ball. Now we're going to see if he can putt. Let's see if he can make the putt.
The short game for Fadul. Tevon Mitchell called for a fair catch inside the 5. So he does his job. Bethune Cookman all the way back. On the left for Bethune Cookman in his 4th season, never lost to the Rattlers as head coach. On the other side, Willie Simmons in his 1st year with the program for Florida A&M, trying to pick up a big win, an all-important one for his program. FAMU leads it all-time 50-22, but as we mentioned, Bethune Cookman has had the advantage since its move to Orlando, and especially winning 7 straight.
Orlando's a little bit closer to Daytona than it is Tallahassee.
True indeed. Flag on the play. Likely a hold, and will come back.
Holding. Offense. Number 70. After distance to the goal. First down.
The last time they had Bethune Cookman backed up, they started thinking safety. They didn't wrap up. And the running back for Bethune Cookman, Tupac Ismi, took it 99 yards on him. Ismi is in the backfield now, saying, "Give me another carry, coach."
As Jabari Dunham checks in at quarterback. Ismi trying to go at it again. Does give them a little breathing room. Elijah Watkins in on the stop. And you know, Jay, one of the conversations we've had throughout the game, and really anytime we cover Bethune Cookman, is the fact that they've had that rotation at quarterback, playing the multiple quarterback system, and that really started back in 2010. You go back to when Matt Johnson was their guy. He was the gunner.
Look at you. I didn't know you knew
that
that
a little
one.
history there,
Okay.
you know. I do my homework. I was actually at that game. He injured his shoulder that turned the tide, and from that point on, we've seen them go with a multiple quarterback system. Dunham picks up good yardage following his blockers, and Terry Jefferson brings him down.
I haven't seen that play since, like, I played flag football at Cheviot Hills Park in LA. That was quarterback sweep right. Right? No fake. Entourage get in front of him. Look at this. Quarterback sweep right, run to daylight. Everybody gets a body on a body, and it picks up a first down.
So for as much of a spark that David Israel is, Jabari Dunham just seems to do a lot of the little things right and is a steady presence as a signal caller.
And not as explosive as Israel, but he's going to do the right thing. And that's what you want as a coach. Somebody's going to do the right thing that's going to, as they say, run the offense. But we're going back to that Matt Johnson story. When he got hurt in the Florida Classic, remember, and he was the MEAC Offensive Player of the Year that year, and Brian Jenkins said, "I will never be so dependent on one player again." Now, for better or for worse, I don't agree with that philosophy, but they've had some success doing it. Because I just think if you've got that guy, you got to let that guy win ball games for you.
Yeah. As Jimmy Robinson on the carry, penalty flag on the field. Bethune Cookman already has 10 for the game.
There's 2 fouls in the play, both against the offense. Holding, offense, number 83. That penalty decline. Holding, offense, number 81. 10-yard penalty, second down.
So the tight end, Teron Mallard, and the wide receiver, Stephon Francois, both called for holds. And while we've seen explosive plays in this second half, especially this final quarter, it's just kind of slowed down a little bit, Jay. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Dunham going for Malik Jackson and just underthrows him.
Jackson was behind the Florida A&M defensive backs by about 4 yards. Got to get him that football. It's a long throw. But that would have been probably the backbreaker if he's able to connect on that one for that big play.
And so Dunham goes out. David Israel switches back in.
Now what's the reason? That's why for all these years I've been trying to figure out when they're going to make a change, why they make a change. Dunham just gets a throw downfield, and then you put Israel in there. Maybe you're going to run the ball because Israel's a little bit better runner than Dunham.
3rd and long. Moving to his right and nobody there. Kevon Mitchell was in the area. So now, if you're Florida A&M, 5:42 remaining in this ball game. You trail by 7. You got to get it done on this drive.
And it starts right now.
With some points, right?
I'm going punt block.
Yep.
This is one of those situations you go for the block punt to maybe get some points on the board. You just want your return man to field it. I wouldn't set up a return in this situation. Bethune Cookman being Bethune Cookman. They're going to get penalty flags. That's what they do.
Offense, 29. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
And as much as I say Bethune Cookman being Bethune Cookman, they're one of the best teams I've seen in the country that can overcome their mistakes. So they'll get 15, 16 penalties a game and still beat you. I want to see if they go after the punt. You absolutely, in this situation, should go after the punt and go for the block kick.
Francis in the back of the end zone. Do they bring the house?
They pulled off. They set up a return.
Zende Ray fields it near the 50-yard line, and boom, he's knocked backwards. So an all-important drive coming up for Florida A&M, down by 7.
It was supposed to be a weekend of serious binge watching. But memories aren't made by staying in. Getting out of your comfort zone. It's possible in the award-winning Tucson, part of the Hyundai SUV family.
I'm Adam, and I make robots. The new Surface Pro can handle all of my programs. I can paint, I can mold, I can code. I can take an idea from a sketch and turn it into a real product in one device. It's pretty amazing.
Oh, in this second half, it's been interesting. Tupac Ishbia made it really interesting on his 99-yard run. And then Ryan Stanley coming back, ball tipped, intercepted. Uriel Hernandez hits the go-ahead field goal. And Stanley coming right back. George Webb grabbing the lead, but only for a second. A play. Truly.
And then the touchdown scored by Jabari Dunham gave Bethune-Cookman the lead that Florida A&M has not been able to catch up to since.
So Stanley finds his target in Marcus Williams. 1st down yardage and more.
Yeah, and I like that, delivering the ball. Just don't get away from that. It's on the line now. You know, I say Willie Simmons, he's an offensive guy first. He's the play caller. This is what they want to see in Tallahassee. Use your offensive creativity to find a way to move the ball down the field.
Stanley once again getting into a rhythm. Xavier Smith, so back-to-back 1st down catches for the Rattlers offense.
We've seen that. We've seen them get down here, but then they get away from it and they struggle a little bit. They try to run the ball. Now they have had success running off tackle in the second half, but you don't want to make a living running off tackle in your opponent's red zone.
And the handoff to Deshaun Smith, and Smith with really no room to run as Devin James is there.
And you don't want to run off tackle in the red zone because if you get tackled, normally in an off tackle play, you're normally tackled for a loss behind the line of scrimmage, behind your tight end or your tackle. So You want to be able to run downhill. That just hasn't been there for Florida A&M.
Stanley going for it on the outside again with Manigo and David Manigo.
That's that back shoulder throw. They've tried to do that one-on-one isolation all throughout the game and haven't been able to connect on it yet. Crossing route. I want to see a crossing route. They ran a nice crossing route earlier when they actually got the sprinter, Marcus Williams, across the formation. Give it to him in open field, run him on a little underneath cut, and see if they can stop him.
Now it brings up 3rd and 9. And they hand it off to Deshaun Smith. So
kick it.
Perhaps that was the thought all along. Get to the middle of the field and try to walk away with some points, as this is a win if you're Bethune Cookman.
Yeah, I would think you kick it because you're going to need your defense to make a stop. And if you're fortunate enough to get the ball back, then you could be playing for the win. Big play.
He likes to go for it. 4th and 8. Stanley trying to make the throw. Instead, it's intercepted. Darius Peters with the interception. The 2nd of the game for Ryan Stanley. But this one comes at a critical moment. Bethune Cookman already with the lead. They're trying to hold tight and spoil the Rattlers' dreams of making it to Atlanta.
It's not about a record. It's a rivalry game. It's the Classic. So anything can happen. You have 2 great coaching staffs, 2 great football teams. It'll be a battle tomorrow. We know that. It always is. The team that makes the least mistakes and the most plays will win the football.
Talking about a huge play right here on the interception. Darius Peters snags it away. And right now, Bethune Cookman 3.5 minutes away from winning their 8th consecutive Florida Classic.
And it was just the mindset. I mean, coming in here, seeing all the fans that were here, you kind of think, all right, wouldn't it be good if FAMU won this game and got to go represent the Celebration Bowl? And every Bethune Cookman person I met said, heck no. That wasn't the term they used, but it was no. We are going to beat them, and they meant it. They were serious. I'm thinking, you're going to cost the institution a little money. Hey, we're going to beat them. And right now, Bethune Cookman, as you mentioned, less than 3 minutes away from achieving their goal.
So if Florida A&M loses this game, North Carolina A&T would go on to represent the MEAC in the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl.
And that to me, as the football guy, is disappointing. Because I really think FAMU wins the Celebration Bowl. I think A&T goes to the playoffs and they beat some people.
30 seconds.
And the MEAC needs some wins in the playoffs to establish that type of credibility. But a good consolation prize would be A&T going to the Celebration Bowl, getting that what? Where are they getting?
$1 million. Well, SportsCenter tonight after Arizona-Washington State with Zubin and John Anderson. They'll break down how today's games will affect the college football playoff rankings, plus LeBron's reaction to Lakers' recent surge, and inside look of the Warriors' offense without Steph. SportsCenter after college football on ESPN and the ESPN app. Braun and company in town to take on the Magic tonight. It's like Orlando is popping. Okay, you have the Florida Classic, UCF already hosted game day. Now they will take on Cincinnati tonight, and then the Magic in action against the Lakers.
And you always have Mickey Mouse, too. So.
Big draw there. Got to shout out Universal as well, as Dunham is dragged down, and a big stop.
Big stop. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's all good.
But that's the stop that they needed. They're going to get the football back one more time to try to get that touchdown, chasing points. They're going back to the quarterback sweep here. They picked up a first down earlier this quarter on it. This time, not so lucky.
And Jay, when you look at Willie Simmons and Florida A&M being in this position, I mean, you and I have talked about in breaks, leaving points on the table. And that aggressive play calling kind of coming back to bite Willie Simmons at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they've run 24 more plays than Bethune Cookman, yet they're trailing by 7. And they moved the ball, but they got away from it. They had their struggles in their red zone offense. I just think in these type of games, you take nothing for granted. You grab every single point you can get. You say field goals aren't sexy, but they don't kill you.
Yeah.
Donuts, zeros on the scoreboard do.
Azinde Ray on the fair catch. And I think you go back to that third quarter stop where Bethune Cookman was able to hold on 4th and goal. So instead of walking away with perhaps 3 points, you come up with that goose egg.
Yep.
And I think that was the play that kind of changed the tide of this game a little bit, Jay.
Yeah, they elected to go for it on 4th down with a jet sweep. And that right there, Bethune got the stop, took the momentum, and they never, Florida A&M could never get it back. But I say this, as a quarterback, I want to be on the field. Right now, I'm a retired guy. I'm jealous of Ryan Stanley. An opportunity to go out there, win a game in front of a big crowd against your rival. This is what legends are made of. This is what you play football for when you're in the 6th grade trying to win your first Park League championship. Well, now you're here, you're playing on national television. You got to want this. And you have to have seen this in your mind several times before, like, I'm going to be on the field with a minute something to go and 2 timeouts, and I'm going to drive right down the field like John Elway. That's what I used to tell myself.
Well, Ryan Stanley completes the pass here, and Xavier Smith across midfield, brought down near the 36-yard line by Tydarius Peters, and now a little pep in the step of the offense for the Rattlers after that 25-yard gain.
Yeah, take the crossing routes. I called for it earlier. They finally got it for big yardage.
Kenrillis on the carry, picking up short yardage on 1st down.
So I like the crossing route because they've got the speed. Keep the throws right in front of them, hit them in stride, pick up a block on the outside. They can go back to that.
Azinde Ray with the reception.
And now this 3rd down becomes crucial. You don't want to get in 4th down situations because there's too much pressure. You make 3rd down count. Knowing you've got 4th down, but 3rd down, if I'm dropping back and I see something I don't like, I'm taking off and running the football. Don't run backwards.
Stanley moving to the outside.
No.
And has to throw it away.
It's not that type of game. You're in this game, it's 3rd and short. You don't see the look. You read your lineman, you find the crease, and you pick up 2 or 3 yards. Once he started running backwards, that's not what we want. And now you've got all the pressure of the season on this 4th down play.
It all comes down to this. 4th and 4. Stanley takes the snap, delivers the target.
Clutch.
And right there, Azinde Ray. So a strong throw, and they keep it moving.
Pressure throw. There's a lot of pressure riding on that throw there. And Stanley and Ray delivered.
Under a minute to go. And Ray just drops that one. And at this point in the game, you can ill afford to drop gimmies.
That's true, but the key was he made this catch on 4th down. That ball was a little bit low. He went down and got that one. You'll accept the drop on 1st down compared to that 4th down crucial completion.
True indeed. Stanley looks to the sideline. Gets the call from Willie Simmons. Blocking underneath, David Manigo holds on to it, dragging several Wildcats with him, still on his feet. And that's somebody who wants it, the true freshman
fantastic individual effort. Could have easily been stopped at the line of scrimmage, fought for every yard, picked up 5 yards after contact. He just wanted it more, pulling Wildcat defenders with him.
And I think most importantly, getting out of bounds, Jay. The handoff to Henrillis on 3rd and 6. And Dukeway pops him. But the Rattlers looking to strike and tie this game up. Clock running. 30 seconds. Stanley feeling the pressure. Let's go! And it's intercepted! Darius Peters for the second time today! The backbreaker! The heartbreaker! Bethune Cookman has done it again!
It was the penetration by Marcus Ford for Bethune Cookman, their best defensive player when healthy by far. Flushed Stanley out of the pocket, tripped him up, interception, ball game, Wildcats.
And that's from one quarterback to another. Willie Simmons talking to Ryan Stanley. Bethune Cookman fans reveling in the excitement. Darius Peters coming up with perhaps the biggest play of the season for Bethune Cookman.
Marcus Ford, number 48, you see him there, gets the edge, chases him down, does not allow Stanley time to set his feet on that throw. A little bit behind.
Touchdown is good. Silent interference. Bethune Cookman. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. Also, after the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. 21, Bethune Cookman. Both fouls will be enforced on the kickoff.
Quick first step, left side of your screen, number 48. Ford gets there in a hurry, forces the throw, and the Wildcats know that this will be their last game of the season, but they also know it'll be the last game of the year for their rivals from Tallahassee as well.
Well, you know that this rivalry goes back several years. 73rd meeting between these two teams. Long standing, a lot of trash talking all throughout the week as to who would come out on top. FAMU was riding high considering the way their season has gone, with a chance to go to the Celebration Bowl, Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. That is no longer an option on the table. Bethune Cookman will hold for their 8th consecutive win over Florida A&M. And the Wildcats can boast and say they are the best in the state.
They took care of their business, and for Florida A&M, such a great season for them, but they slid into the latter part of the season. 3 consecutive losses to end it. And for them, they got to get ready for next year, but it's bragging rights for another year for Bethune Cookman. Their fans and their band.
And it had never been done before for Bethune Cookman to win 8 straight overall in the series history.
Timeout. Bethune Cookman. First guard timeout. 30-second timeout.
So it will be North Carolina A&T going to the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. for the MEAC championship. Who does it belong to, Jay? Go ahead and say it.
Aggie pride. The Aggies, they've been the pride and joy of HBCU football for quite some time, and looks like they hung in there when they could have given up. But once they saw Florida A&M lost to Howard, when we were in Greensboro that weekend, they came up thanking all the folks from Howard for winning that game and said, we're going to end up in Atlanta. I had people tell me, I'm not giving up my hotel room. They were going to come anyway, and now they're going to come and watch their team.
So Ray picks it up.
And sticking with the Celebration Bowl, Alcorn State is playing Jackson State. Jackson State 3, Alcorn 24. Pack your bags, Tiff. We going to Lorman, Mississippi for the SWAC championship.
First time I'll get to go on the reservation.
Oh man, the reservation is something now. It's going to be jumping now. They don't know who they'll play, whether it'll be Grambling or Southern. The winner of the Bayou Classic will go, seems like they'll be going to Lorman, Mississippi, the home of Steve Air McNair, Medgar Evers.
You got to tip your hat to the season for the Florida A&M Rattlers, who walk away with a winning season for the first time since 2011. But all the victory belongs to that man, Terry Sims, who was trying to avoid the Gatorade bag.
You can't send a lineman after the coach.
But they're strong enough to do it. Good embrace between the two coaches, Terry Sims and the Bethune Cookman Wildcats have done it again, taking down the Florida A&M Rattlers in the Florida Blue Florida Classic 33-19. They relied on the big play all day long, Jay, and that's what took it to the house.
Yeah, let's give credit to Bethune. That's been them all season. They can overcome their own self-inflicted wounds, whether it's penalties, bad plays. They came up with the big play tonight, and they also lost their starting quarterback for the year, Kevius Williams, and they still managed to finish in the upper echelon of MEAC play and win the Florida Classic.
Wildcats moved to 7-5 to close out the season. Florida A&M drops to 6-5. Great ball game here from Central Florida as the Florida Blue Florida Classic, it's in the books for the 73rd running. A terrific game. We had so much fun. For Jay Walker and our entire crew, I'm Tiffany Green saying so long from Orlando. Bethune Cookman Wildcats win it big.